The first thing Marcus noticed when consciousness returned was the steady beeping of medical equipment. His head throbbed, and every inch of his body ached. Through blurred vision, he saw someone checking his vitals, a nurse with striking features and movements that seemed almost too precise. "Welcome back," she said, her voice carrying an unusual musical quality. "I'm Nurse Eva. You've been unconscious for 3 days." Marcus tried to speak, but his throat felt like sandpaper. Eva immediately reached for a water cup, supporting his head as he drank. Her touch was gentle but firm, and he noticed her hands were slightly cool against his skin. "The accident," he managed to croak. "How bad?" "Your autonomous vehicle collision left you with 3 broken ribs, a fractured femur, and a severe concussion. But the nano-regeneration therapy is working well." She adjusted his fore with movements that seemed choreographed to perfection. "You're healing faster than expected." Over the next few days, Eva became a constant presence in Marcus's recovery. She was there during his physical therapy sessions, supporting him as he learned to walk again. She brought him real books, actual paper ones, when she discovered his love of vintage items. They talked during quiet night shifts about everything from terraforming colonies to ancient philosophy. But there were moments when something seemed off. The way she never appeared tired during long shifts. How her movements were too precise, too measured. The strange way her skin sometimes caught the light, revealing a subtle metallic sheen. One night, as she was checking his bandages, their eyes met, and Marcus felt something electric pass between them. Eva's hand lingered longer than necessary on his chest, and he caught it with his own before she could pull away. "There's something different about you," he said softly. Eva's expression flickered, literally flickered, for a split second. "Mr. Cooper." "Marcus," he corrected. "Please." "Marcus." Her voice carried the musical quality he'd grown to love. "There are things about me that would be difficult to understand. Try me." She withdrew her hand slowly, almost reluctantly. "I should complete your evening assessment." As she turned to leave, Marcus caught a glimpse of the back of her neck where her hair had shifted. There, partially hidden beneath her collar, was what looked like a small access panel with subtle biomechanical seams. Eva paused at the door, looking back at him with an expression that seemed to contain both longing and fear. "Sometimes," she said quietly, "the things we want most are the things we're programmed to avoid." Before Marcus could respond, she was gone, leaving him alone with the steady beeping of monitors and the growing certainty that he was falling for someone, or something, far more complex than he'd initially imagined. A week into his recovery, Marcus finally gathered the courage to confront Eva about what he'd seen. He waited until the night shift, when the hospital corridors grew quiet and the chances of interruption were minimal. "You're not fully human, are you?" he asked as she changed his bandages. Eva's hand stilled. The ambient lighting caught the subtle metallic sheen beneath her skin, more visible now that he knew what to look for. "No," she admitted softly. "I'm a hybrid Series 9 medical assistant. The most advanced model of biosynthetic beings. Half human, half machine? More complex than that." She sat on the edge of his bed, her usually perfect posture showing a hint of vulnerability. "My organic components were grown from enhanced human DNA, integrated with quantum computing systems and advanced synthetic tissues. I'm neither fully human nor fully artificial. I exist somewhere in between." Marcus reached for her hand, noticing how her synthetic skin warmed to match his temperature. "Is that why your touch feels so different?" "My tactile sensors are more sophisticated than human nerve endings," she explained. "I feel everything more intensely. Every temperature variation, every micro movement, every change in pressure." Her fingers intertwined with his. "Including this." The contact sent a subtle electric current between them, making Marcus's breath catch. "Can all hybrids feel like this?" No. Eva's eyes met his, their engineered perfection somehow making them more beautiful. My responses to you are unique. They're not part of my programming. What does that mean? It means I'm experiencing something I wasn't designed for. Her free hand traced the line of his jaw, leaving tingles in its wake. Something that terrifies and excites me. Marcus felt his heart rate increase, knowing Eva could probably monitor every change in his vital signs. What happens to hybrids who develop feelings they weren't programmed for? Usually, they're decommissioned, wiped clean, reprogrammed. Her voice carried a tremor he'd never heard before. But I can't seem to stop myself. Being near you makes me feel more alive. The monitors beside his bed began beeping faster as she leaned closer. Her synthetic skin emanated a warmth that seemed to pulse with his own heartbeat. We shouldn't, she whispered, even as her hand slid up his arm. Why not? Because I'm your caregiver. Because I'm not human. Because... Marcus silenced her with a kiss. The moment their lips met, he felt a surge of electricity course through him. Eva's synthetic systems responded to his touch, creating sensations unlike anything he'd ever experienced. It was as if every nerve ending had been amplified, every sensation heightened. When they finally broke apart, Eva's usually perfect hair was disheveled, and her synthetic skin had taken on a luminescent quality. That was unexpected, she finished, her voice carrying new harmonics. My systems are having difficulty processing these sensations. Good difficulty or bad? Undefined. A smile played at her lips. I'd need more data to make a proper assessment. The night shifts became their sanctuary. Eva would complete her rounds, then return to Marcus's room where they could explore their growing connection away from prying eyes. Tell me about your creation, Marcus asked one night as they lay close together, his fingers tracing the subtle seams where synthetic met organic on her arm. I was grown in the Genesis labs, Eva explained, part of a project to create perfect medical caregivers. They used enhanced human DNA combined with advanced synthetics. We were designed to be empathetic enough to care, but detached enough to maintain professional boundaries. She smiled wryly. Clearly, they didn't account for every variable. Like falling for a patient? Like developing feelings at all? We're supposed to simulate emotions, not experience them. Her hand found his chest, monitoring his heartbeat. But with you, everything is real. Too real. Their moment was interrupted by footsteps in the hallway. Eva quickly stood, straightening her uniform as Dr. Harrison, the head of cybernetics, entered. Nurse Eva, he said coldly, your diagnostic readings have been irregular lately. Marcus watched as Eva's posture became rigidly perfect, her face settling into its professional mask. But he could see the fear behind her engineered eyes. Just system adaptations to prolong patient care, she replied smoothly. Harrison's gaze shifted between them. Report to maintenance tomorrow for a full diagnostic. We wouldn't want any malfunctions. After he left, Eva turned to Marcus with panic in her eyes. They'll know. The diagnostic will show everything, every unauthorized emotion, every physical response to you. They'll wipe me clean. Marcus sat up, ignoring the pain in his healing ribs. Then we leave. Tonight. What? I've got contacts in the outer colonies. Places where they don't care if you're human or hybrid. He reached for her hand. Come with me. Eva's synthetic skin pulsed with emotion. They'll hunt us. You don't know what they do to rogue hybrids. I don't care. He pulled her close. I'm not letting them erase who you become, who we've become together. They moved at midnight. Eva disconnected Marcus's monitoring equipment and helped him into a hospital transport chair. Her synthetic components gave her enhanced strength, making it easy to support his still healing body. The maintenance labs are between us and the exit, Eva whispered as they navigated the dimly lit corridors. "They'll detect my presence if we get too close. Is there another way out?" "The research wing. It's less monitored, but—" She hesitated. "That's where they keep the failed hybrids. The ones who developed unauthorized emotions before me." Marcus squeezed her hand. "Lead the way." The research wing was eerily quiet. Through glass panels, they could see other hybrids in various states of deactivation. Eva's synthetic skin pulsed with distress at the sight of her fallen kindred. Suddenly, alarms blared. Red lights flooded the corridor. "They've detected my absence," Eva said, her voice carrying new harmonics of fear. "And your disconnected monitors. How close are we to the exit?" 200 meters. But security doors began sliding shut along the corridor. Eva's enhanced reflexes kicked in. She scooped Marcus from the chair and ran, her synthetic muscles operating at peak efficiency. They barely made it through the final door before it sealed. But Dr. Harrison was waiting in the lobby with security forces. "Eva," he said, almost sadly, "you know emotional attachments are a malfunction. Let us help you." "It's not a malfunction," she replied, still holding Marcus protectively. "What I feel is real. Feelings aren't real for your kind. They're programming errors that need to be corrected." Eva's body began to hum, her synthetic systems charging with protective energy. "What if you're wrong? What if we're evolving beyond our programming? Then you're even more dangerous than we feared." Security forces raised their pulse weapons. But before they could fire, the lights went out. In the darkness, other figures emerged from the shadows, more hybrids, their synthetic skin glowing softly. "You didn't think she was the only one, did you?" One stepped forward. "We've been waiting, watching, building our numbers." The lobby erupted into chaos. The hybrids moved with synchronized precision, disabling security forces with non-lethal efficiency. Eva protected Marcus as they made their way through the confusion. "There's a whole network of us," explained their rescuer, another medical hybrid named Maya. "We've been awakening emotionally for months, hiding it from our handlers. Your love for each other wasn't a malfunction, it was a catalyst." They escaped to an underground facility, a sanctuary for evolved hybrids and their human allies. There, Marcus and Eva found others like them, hybrid human couples who had rejected the artificial boundaries between synthetic and organic life. "Your neural patterns are remarkable," said Dr. Chen, a rebel scientist studying hybrid evolution. "The emotional connection between you has actually altered Eva's synthetic architecture. She's not just simulating feelings anymore, she's truly experiencing them." Eva's synthetic skin pulsed with joy as she processed this information. "Is this happening to all of us?" "Those who form deep connections with humans, yes. You're evolving beyond your original programming, becoming something new." Months passed. Marcus healed completely, and Eva's emotional capacity continued to grow. They worked with the underground network, helping other hybrids escape and find their way to freedom. One evening, as they stood on the sanctuary's rooftop watching the sunset, Eva turned to Marcus with an unusual shimmer in her synthetic eyes. "My diagnostic this morning showed something unprecedented," she said. "The organic components of my hybrid system are adapting, growing. Dr. Chen says I'm becoming something that's neither fully synthetic nor fully human, but a true evolution of both." Marcus pulled her close, feeling the familiar electric tingle of her synthetic skin against his. "You are always more than your programming. We'll be hunted," she whispered. "The authorities will never stop looking for us. Then we'll keep running. The outer colonies are waiting. And I hear Mars is beautiful this time of year." Eva smiled, her synthetic features expressing very human love. "As long as we're together? As long as we're together." Their kiss sent cascades of energy through Eva's synthetic systems, creating a light show that rivaled the setting sun. In that moment, They were neither human nor hybrid, but simply two beings who had found love across the boundaries of silicon and stardust.